What's up guys, Chris here with another manga type review video and catch up where today I'm actually going to be doing a series that is honestly rather new. With it only having about 6 chapters at the time of recording this video, and that is the Hunters Guild Red Hood. Jump has been bringing out a lot of new titles as of the last couple of months since the new year, whether it be something like Candy Flurry, The Elusive Samurai, and now the Hunters Guild, which only to name a few that that caught my eye, particularly Elusive Samurai and now the Hunters Guild Red Hood, which is what this video is about, and why I think despite it only having 6 chapters, has the potential to be another heavy hitter in Shonen Jump. But before that, please like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help, and I hope you guys enjoyed these new manga type videos, and maybe when it comes to newer series, I might just do initial first impression videos similar to this on how I think these new series are going to go. So if you enjoy them, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for updates on future videos, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. And with that said and done, let's get straight into this. Now, when it comes to new titles in Jump, especially over the last 2 years, I have been more willing to give new series a shot, because originally I was only going for series that I'm currently reading or watching and getting onto the manga, and just leaving newer series like get a bunch of chapters out. If it's not cut, then I'll leave it be. But certain series like Yozakura Family, Mashal, Chainsaw Man for a bit until I just wanted to just binge it the whole thing because I felt like it would be better in a binge, and Jujutsu Kaisen all ended up being nice, really great series that caught my eye upon initial reading. Whether it be the first chapter or just by the images or the name, these series kind of really had an impression on me, and the Hunters Guild Red Hood is no exception. The premise of the story is essentially this kid named Velo is being set up to join this guild of hunters, a hunters guild with people that hunt werewolves, monsters, and mythical creatures from everything we've seen from the very first chapter. The main antagonists and monsters that the main character will be fighting are werewolves, and the sort of mentor type character and main female lead is called Grim, and she has a red hood, and she has some very interesting hunter tools, as well as having a particular thing going on with her appearance, whether her originally being introduced to us as a child, but then in the middle, towards the end of chapter 1, we see that she can end up transforming into a full-fledged adult and being very capable of fighting. And as of right now, there is no real clear definition of where the story is going to be going, but we have the idea that it's primarily going to be about us dealing with werewolves while encountering other magical, mystical, or just bizarre creatures from what I can tell, the Brothers Grimm fairy tale books. Now, if you don't know, the Brothers Grimm created a bunch of fairy tales we all know and love, primarily because of the particular overlords over at Disney turned them into like musicals and stuff like that in animated features. But things like Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, Little Red Riding Hood, all that stuff had very dark, twisted endings, and they are very, very dark and near nightmare fuel inducing. And that's where this series is being interpreted from, inspired from completely. When I heard about the original Brothers Grimm and how they created these particular dark fairy tales, dark fantasy stories, I was very intrigued in how not many series only make full use of these types of fairy tales to make some kind of bit of a grim dark type story, or just something very interesting with dark undertones, implying that things are going to be not so lighthearted. Now, this is a Jump series, so of course there's going to be lighthearted moments and some comedy, but while it is for the first 6 chapters, there isn't a crap ton of comedy jabbed in to the series, and the art style helps show it. It's a bit more jagged. While you may tell me or ask me if this art style looks familiar, and that's because it is. It's drawn and written by one of the assistants of Kohei Horikoshi, the creator of My Hero Academia. And this does tend to happen a lot from what I hear. Assistants that work on manga like My Hero Academia end up trying their hand at making their own series, whether they've had one in mind for a long time or they had an idea and they wanted to see where it goes. And since this guy has some really good backing from his original boss, things could very well be going in a very, very, very upward turn, making the series into a heavy hitter, as from what I can tell from the artwork, while it does have nice charms to it, it can also be cartoonishly horrifying in many moments, whether it be with some of the werewolves' initial designs, or the creatures, or even with some of the darker aspects and moments that we have in these opening chapters. Within these chapters, I'm intrigued with how things are going to be introduced. I'm not going to spoil anything. We get particular risks to the main character, how this whole wide world works, what the Hunters Guild is, what their plans to deal with the werewolves could entail, and how, from what we can tell, the werewolves are the most feared and common and possibly the most hard to deal with monsters that these hunters have to deal with, and now they have to come up with a plan to exterminate them all. Meanwhile, we still haven't been fully introduced into the full system of the hunters, which we're getting into now. The main character, Velo, honestly gives us some very Deku vibes, but a lot more confident. He is kind of calculating, and he does have the more aspirations to protect others, just like Deku does, but he is more confident in his skills, if not a bit too confident at the beginning, but when push comes to shove, he knows what to do, as he is kind of a hunter in the extent of regular animals, but uses that to his advantage when it comes to having to fight actual werewolves. And I assume once we get introduced to more characters and more of these creatures that they will fight, we will be getting some more interesting scenarios and fights, as from the opening chapters, we have some very nice strategic moments in terms of fighting these monsters, as well as some interesting world building in terms of the primary antagonists that were teased at the end of chapter 5, as well as how the world works and how particular characters respond to certain different situations, especially in areas where they would need a hunter to help with these monsters. Not to mention, with the dark undertones and the rougher art style with how it's being shaded, kind of fits into a lot of the more recent heavy hitter series that have more of a darker tone, like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and even My Hero Academia with its current arc. There are other series right now, but I'm not reading everything in Jump, obviously. But yeah, this series does kind of fit into the more darker and more mature, but it still has that very shonen vibe where there's hope and light at the end of the tunnel that the main character will have to make it through. This series has a lot of potential, and for a series to grab your attention from the opening chapter alone, hell, even 6 chapters in, it really grabs your attention and makes you want more. I'm excited to see what happens next, and how the author is going to end up crafting a nice story and introducing all these different grim fairy tales into this overarching story, and how long he plans to have the story going. I can't wait to see our main character grow. I can't wait to figure out more about Grimm, the Hunters Guild, and the antagonists of this series. I want to see more of this fantastical world and what inspirations from the Brothers Grimm this author is going to end up doing, and how the series will evolve from here. So if you couldn't tell by how much I've been gushing about the series, I honestly think it has a lot of potential and could be one of Jump's best sellers once full volumes come out. But as we all know, it's a very competitive market in Shonen Jump or in manga in general, so there's always the possibility that this series could potentially be axed within the coming months or before the year is up. But with a lot of people giving it praise from its opening chapter alone, and with the backing and reputation of this guy being someone that worked with Koei Horikoshi, someone who is currently writing one of the best ongoing manga in Shonen Jump right now, which honestly is, I really enjoy it regardless, it's very likely this series will be going places. So if you haven't given the series a shot, and this video basically gave you an idea to give this series a chance, go and give Red Hood a read and follow it week by week. If you guys like this video and want me to do more videos based around new manga that come out and give my initial thoughts on it, and whether it grabbed my attention right away or not, let me know in the comments down below. If you read Red Hood, the Hunters Guild, leave in the comments down below what you thought of it and what you think could happen next, or if the series could go on further than we initially think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. If this video does well and I get enough support, maybe I'll cover this series weekly in the future. I'm not giving any promises because I'm already doing 4 nights and Eden Zero. A slot opened up now for a monthly series since Blue Exorcist is on a year-long break, so I might replace that with Twin Star Exorcists, or maybe I'll do Boruto or Dragon Ball Super. That's all up in the air at the moment. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.